Hey everyone, this is Brian from ActiveMelody.com. Well, this week we're straying from the traditional blues path that we've been on, and we're going into more of a rock style blues. I've got out my Telecaster, and I've got a Fulltone OCD pedal that I'm using for overdrive. And so you can use whatever kind of overdrive that you have, even if you don't have a pedal, if you just got your amplifier. But you're going to want to add some kind of an overdrive to this. This is a Peter Green style rhythm and lead combo lesson. I wanted to do something that had repeatable licks, but also had some little solos thrown in between. And so this was kind of what I came up with, all in the style of Peter Green. I think this is just one of many that I'll be doing under Peter Green, because there's just a lot you can do with his style of playing blues. But anyway, if you want to download the tablature and the jam tracks for this lesson, go to ActiveMelody.com and look for EP044. That's the lesson number for this lesson. And I've got two versions of the jam track. I've got one that is played, the tempo that I played in the intro, and then I've got a slower one, just for those of you that are just getting started. In fact, you may want to start with the slower one and then work your way up to the fast one. I've also got a version of the lesson, this will be for premium members, where it's just me playing it slowly, so that without all the talk. I know that I'm going to continue to do that going forward for all lessons. So, and tablature is available there as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the lesson. Alright, so this jam track is in the key of A, and if you'll notice, there's just a single chord that's played through the whole thing. It's an A chord that's just played over and over and over again. And there's a certain comfort that happens to the listener and to the musician that's supplying the melody when there's just a single chord. It's very predictable. And some of your best jam sessions come out of just one chord that's played over and over again, maybe two chords. But you don't have to get crazy with your rhythms to make for a really good jam session. So I wanted to demonstrate that, and what the goal of this lesson should be. I can show you how to play everything I played in the intro note for note, so you'll have all of that, and you'll be able to do that. But more importantly, I think it's important for you to be able to create your own little jams and your own improvs out of this. And I'll show you the structure and show you how and when you can do that, or where you should do that. And let me go over that right now real quick before I get into the breakdown. So there's really two parts to this. There's the, I think of it as a call and response. So the call part, or the rhythm part, is the part that repeats over and over again. And so that part is the thing that sounds like this. And once you get that down, you can just keep it going. You can just repeat it over and over and over until your heart's content. So that's good. Now we have a repeatable part. And what's good about a repeatable part is you can always fall back on it. So if you're trying to play a solo, for example, and you get lost or not sure what to do, just go back to the rhythm. So when you see these extended jam sessions, it's not like the musicians have everything memorized. They're making it up as they go. But there's obviously, there's oftentimes a hook that they can fall back to, and everybody kind of knows that hook. And when you fall back into that, it gives you a chance to think about where to go next. So just think of it that way. It's kind of home base. So there's that part. Now in between each of those, I also have these little mini solos, I guess, for lack of a better way to describe it. Now, so one of them goes like that, and then I have one that goes. These little solos that happen. And so I've provided you there's four of them. If you listen to the intro again, you'll see what I'm talking about. These four little mini solos that happen in between the rhythms. Now that's your chance to shine in terms of making up what you want to make up. So if you wanted to really have fun with this jam track, just let it play, and instead of just playing those four that I provided, make up your own. We are in the minor pentatonic scale. So this would be the A minor pentatonic scale. If you're not familiar with what that means, check out the blues lead course I have on ActiveMelody.com. I explain all the different patterns in the minor pentatonic scale, so you'll be able to know the boundaries of the scale that we're in. But if that's the case, then you could start getting creative and start making up your own. So you could do something like this. You know, just make up. That was not a very great example, but you could just make up your own little riffs within that minor pentatonic scale. So let me go ahead and break this thing down now. I'll show you how to play everything note for note. Alright, so let's take a look at that repeatable part, which is the rhythm part, and here's what we're going to try and learn first. We're just going to get to that point. And I'm going to start by putting my pointer finger down on the 5th fret 4th string, and then I'm going to hammer on to the 7th fret 4th string. So I'm going to do this. That's the hammer on part. Now, in addition to that, that sounds awfully wimpy if I just play the 4th string. So to beef it up, I'm going to go ahead and throw in the open A string, or the 5th string. You can see what happens there if you double up that sound, and that's why a lot of guitar players like to play in the key of A's, because you have options like that. Same thing with the key of E. You know, you have that open E string, so that's kind of why that's happening. But that fattens up the sound to add that that low A string. Now, what I'm doing there is I'm starting with a downstroke, playing strings 5 and 4, and then I'm hammering on to the 7th fret here on the 4th string. And then I just come down with, it's sort of a downstroke motion, but I just kind of stop the strings like that. And if you'll watch my hand when I'm doing it in real time, that's what I'm doing. I'm keeping it going. This part of my palm kind of helps stop that sound though. Now after that, then I'm going to do an upstroke on that 7th fret 4th string. Then I'm going to do a downstroke and play both strings 5 and 4, keeping my left hand in place. So we have. Now after that, I do another little thing where I come down and kind of stop the sound. So we have, there's the first one, there's the second one. Now after that I do 2 upstrokes. Watch this. So watch this. So I'm doing a upstroke, stopping the sound, another upstroke, and stopping the sound. So all together slowly it sounds like this. You can see it's a rhythm thing. Once you get it going, get the groove going. Don't go any further in this. Just try and get it up to that point. Just get something that you can. And the challenge will be trying to be accurate and hit just those 2 strings. I think that'll probably be, for those of you that are not familiar with playing this style of rhythm, but just keep practicing. Do it slower. If that's too fast, just remember those 2 are upstrokes. Now, after that, then I came down and went, play those 2 notes. And I'm just borrowing the first 4 strings on the 7th fret, and I'm playing strings 4 and 3. Then I do the same thing on, I'm sorry, that's on the 5th fret. So I'm borrowing the first 4 strings on the 5th fret. If I said 7th, I'm sorry. But then I come up and do the same thing on the 7th fret with my ring finger. Again, playing strings 4 and 3. So we have those 2. So putting it all together, it sounds like this. And so you're halfway there, actually, or more than halfway with that part, because then the next thing that happens is there's just a total repeat up to that point. And then I play. So it's those notes. Now it starts with 2 downstrokes, so it's down, down, up, down, up. And the notes are, I'm borrowing the first 3 strings on the 7th fret, but I'm only playing strings 3 and 2. And watch what happens there. I'm taking my ring finger and I'm pulling those strings. It's a pull action. It's not a push, it's a pull. on the 7th fret here to get this. And that's something I've noticed Peter Green doing a lot of, or doing these kind of double string bend things. And so after I pull it, and it's not a full bend, it's just sort of a half bend there. That's one downstroke. Then the second downstroke is releasing that bend and just playing the 7th fret, just barring those 2 strings on the 7th fret, like that. So we have. Now after that, then I come down here and I bar the first 3 strings on the 5th fret, and I'm really just playing the 3rd string. Although if my pick happens to grab strings 2 and 3, that's okay. That's why I just go ahead and bar that instead of trying to hit a precise note. Because you could be sloppy. In fact, you could hit all 3, and it would still work. So I just like, but what I'm trying to hit is this 3rd string on the 5th fret, and that's with an upstroke. So we have down, down, up. And then I'm going to come down to the 7th fret and play a downstroke, 7th fret 4th string, and then an upstroke on the 5th fret 4th string. So let me do just that little part. Let me do it again. Watch the right hand. Slowly. So you can see down, down, up is the strumming pattern. So let's put it all together now, and we'll have that repeatable piece. So here's what we have slowly. Now you're right in position when you play that last note to repeat it again. It's a lot of fun, dude. I'm having a hard time stopping. And you can go faster and faster with it, and but start off slow. Just try to play it accurately. Don't try and play it fast. And if that jam track is too fast for you, or the one that I played in the intro, don't even go there. Just try and play on the slower one until you can get it accurate. And if that slower one is too fast, then just try doing it without until you can start to really play those notes with the right hand. So now I'm going to play those 4. I'm going to show you how to play those 4 little solos that I mentioned. I just showed you how to play the rhythm part, or the call part rather, if you think of a call and response, which is repeated over and over again through most of this. But there are those 4 little mini solos that are kind of unique, and they're sort of transitional to get you back to playing that loop over and over again. So the first one is like this. It goes. And I always play a little slower than I did in the intro, and for some of you that are new to playing lead, you may be like, what? That's crazy, there's too many notes. But you'll find out if you break these things down into a very granular form, they're not that hard to do. You may have to do them slower in the beginning, but that's okay. Speed will come over time. So the first thing we're going to do is we are in the A minor pentatonic scale, so we're in pattern 1. So if you're familiar with that blues lead course on ActiveMelody.com, I'm referring to pattern 1 here in the key of A. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to push down on the first 2 strings on the 5th fret with my pointer finger. And that's sort of setting up this lick. That's how I kind of think of the first thing I do, even though I'm not going to play those notes first. Then I'm going to take my ring finger and I'm going to come to the 7th fret 3rd string. And the first note I'm going to play is I'm going to play that 3rd string, and I'm going to do a full bend like this. Now keep in mind, or notice that I keep these first 2 strings pushed down here. And that's because I'm going to play them right after. So I'm going to play. So after I do that bend, then I'm going to play string 2, then I'm going to play string 1. Again, barring the 5th fret here. first two strings. So we have those are first three notes. Now after that, then I'm going to come back to that 7th fret 3rd string and I'm going to do this. So I'm going to do a bend. Notice after I do this, when I come back, I let go of the bar. That's the point that I let go of the bar. And then I do a full bend again on the 7th fret 3rd string. Release the bend and play just the 7th fret 3rd string. Do a pull off and a hammer on. So I'm doing a pull off here so that the note that's created there, the fretted note, is the 5th fret 3rd string. Then I'm doing a hammer on to the 7th fret 4th string. So let me play all of that slowly. So we have, that's the first three. And those are the next four. So, and now after that, while your ring finger is down on the 7th fret 4th string, then I go ahead and let it bar, because I'm gonna now play the 7th fret 3rd string. So that just easier for me just to create a whole bar here, so that I can hit that 7th fret 3rd string. So we have. Now after that, then I'm going to come down and play the 5th fret 3rd string. So we have. Then we're going to come down and play the 7th fret 4th string. Notice all the jumps between the 7th fret and 5th fret. There's just a lot of that. After that, I'm going to come down and play the 5th fret 4th string. So slowly, let's do all of that. So we have. Now I'm going to come down to the 7th fret 5th string, and I'm going to slide up. So as soon as I hit that note, I'm going to slide up to the 9th fret on the 5th string. Now after I do that, then I'm going to take my pointer finger and I'm going to come back to the 7th fret 3rd string. So I'm going to skip that 4th string. So that's what you're doing there. And it's jumping from kind of a low note to a high note, which when you're playing it up to tempo, it sounds kind of cool to the ear to hear that big jump. So after the slide, I come up here, and then after that, then I go back and get back into position here on the 5th fret 3rd string. So all together to this point we have. Now I come back and do 7th fret 4th string, 5th fret 4th string. So now one other thing I need to mention is after I slide up to the 9th fret on the 5th string and play this 7th fret 3rd string, I just slide that down. So I'm not really picking that. You could pick that if you're fast enough. For me, I'm actually not. So I go ahead and slide that down. So, and once I'm back on the 5th fret 4th string, I'm back in position to do that riff again. So. So you see how that fits together? Alright, so now let's take a look at that second little solo. Now, this one's pretty easy to do, and it sounds like this. It goes. And the reason that it's easy to do is that you're holding the same shape through the whole thing. This doesn't change. So what I'm doing is I'm starting by sliding in with my, well, let me show you the shape first, and then I'll show you how to slide into it. I take my pointer finger down on the and put it down the 8th fret 2nd string, and then I take my middle finger down on the 9th fret 3rd string. And so that's the shape, and you're going to take that same shape and move it all the way up and down the neck. But I'm going to slide in. I'm going to first slide into that 9th fret like this, and then I'm going to play that's playing string 3, and then I'm going to play string 2. Now I'm just going to take that same shape, move it up 2 frets like this. Okay, now I'm going to take that and I'm going to move it up 3 frets until I'm up here. And so in that position, my pointer finger is down on the 13th fret 2nd string, and my middle finger is down on the 14th fret 3rd string. So we have... Now I'm going to slide everything up 2 more frets so that I'm up here, and then I'm just going to hit both strings 2 and 3 and slide everything back down to here. So all together slowly it sounds like this. And that puts me... there's a little break there so that I can come right back down, take my hand off the fretboard to come down and play that little run again. Alright, so the 3rd solo sounds like this. And all I'm doing for that is I'm taking my ring finger and I'm putting it down on the 8th fret 2nd string. And then I take my middle finger, and it's important to use your middle and ring for this. And you'll see why. But middle finger goes down on the 7th fret 3rd string. And what I do there is I go... Now notice what happens. I'm playing strings 2 and 3, but I'm bending string 3 while keeping string 2 fretted down. So see, watch now. So if you've never done that kind of a bend, that one may be a little bit of a challenge, but if you practice it, and you may have to, I remember doing this, have to sort of guide your fingers by almost helping push, just to get the feel for it, and then you won't need to do that anymore. I put down 2 fingers. I put down my pointer finger here to help push that string as well. So you're actually pushing with these 2 fingers, while this one just sort of stays down. So it is a full bend that you're doing on the 3rd string. There on the 7th, starting on the 7th fret. So after that bend, you do a bend and release. So it's just 7th fret, with my middle finger on the 3rd string, and then that stays down on the 8th fret 2nd string. My ring finger does. So then, and that's why I'm using these fingers, so that my pointer finger can come down here and bar the first 3 strings on the 5th fret, and I can play strings 2 and 3. So we have... Now I come down here, and I'm really barring the first 4 strings on the 7th fret, playing string 4, so 7th fret string 4. Then I'm going to play 7th fret strings 2 and 3. So altogether, that up to that point sounds like this. Back to playing the first 2 strings on the 5th fret. Back to playing fret 7, string 4. So we have... And then the last note is just some vibrato here on the 3rd string on the 5th fret. So all together, slowly, it sounds like this. Alright, so now let's take a look at that last solo, and it sounds like this. And what I'm doing there is I'm starting by barring the first 2 strings on the 5th fret, and I do an upstroke on the first string, and after that I follow it with a pull off on the 2nd string. It's the 2nd string 8th fret, and it goes like this. And that's why you want to do this bar here, so that you can catch. So after you do your pull off, the note that you're playing is the 5th fret 2nd string. So all together, those first 3 notes sound like this. And you could, oftentimes I'll play those over and over again in a solo like this. And notice that's why it's important to start this lick with an upstroke. Because if you watch the right hand, it's going up, down, up, down. So just practice those first 3 notes. Now after that, then I do another hammer on. This time I use my middle finger and I hammer onto the 7th fret 3rd string. So we have. After that, then I come up here and play the 5th fret 2nd string. Okay, and then I take my middle finger and I start here on the 7th fret and I slide up to the 9th fret on the 3rd string. Pointer finger goes down on the 8th fret 2nd string. Then I slide back down. This is on the 3rd string. Back down to the 7th fret. So that's the timing of it. So let me put the pieces together. We have. Then I come down and play the 5th fret 3rd string. Now after that, then I come up here and I use my ring finger for this. You may want to use your pinky, whatever's easiest. But I play that 8th fret 2nd string again. Just play the 1 note. And then I take my middle finger and I come to the 7th fret 3rd string and then play this. So after that 8th fret 2nd string, I go. It's a bend and release on the 7th fret 3rd string. Back to the 5th fret 3rd string. So we have. And then I just come down and play 7th fret 4th string, 5th fret 4th string. And now you're back in position to do that rhythm riff again. So all together, that last little solo part goes. Let me do that slowly. And you're back in position. Well, that's all I have for the Peter Green lesson. I hope you've enjoyed this one. My fingers are actually sore. I hope yours are. I've been doing a lot of playing, trying to kind of prep for this, so it's been fun. If you haven't liked me on Facebook, to find out when I have future lessons, you can do so at facebook.com/activemelody, or you can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/activemelody, or you can go to activemelody.com and join our growing community of guitar enthusiasts. So we'll see you in next week's lesson.